The Bedrock with Michael Farinloye. It's a vision of seeing humans working and living in a conducive and secured environment. Through our numerous and educative episodes, we place priority on making known to our people ways to build their houses and arrange their environment with ease, peace, and safety. Michael Omowale Farinloye, aka your engineer on radio, with other crops of professionals in the built environment and engineering sector, will be discussing issues about building construction, real estate, engineering services, civil works, safety, and security, looking into challenges that are rising and profile solutions accordingly. You can send in your questions and contributions via the comment section. It promises to be a moment of learning. Do not miss it.
Our viewers, our listeners, I welcome you to another episode of the Bedrock with Mike Farinloye. Like we know, this is a platform where we discuss issues that are related to built environment, talking about engineering services, talking about how we can build our house with ease, talking about our environment in general, and also talking about real estate and the likes. And on this episode today, I have the person I call him my daddy. He's a mentor to me for years. I've been gaining from him. And let me say we are at Obafemi Awolowo University right now in the Department of Urban and Regional Planning. He's a professor in this department, that's Department of Urban and Regional Planning. It's no other person than Professor A.A. Abegunde. You are welcome on today's episode, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure meeting you. And greetings to everybody listening and observing of Venus.
Yes, that is Professor A.A. Abegunde, like I said. And I remain my humble self too, Mike Farinloye, aka your engineer online. Without wasting much of our time, we want to discuss an issue that have to do with our environment. And I want to believe our viewers watching us, you have a lot to gain from this. I want you to relax and feel free to gain from what we want to learn today. I will be discussing together with our professor on what I call greenery. Greenery. What do we really mean by greenery? We have different types of greenery, and it will take us to what we really want to achieve talking about this topic, that is the built environment. Because when you are talking about greenery, it's a very wide scope. And we will talk about the advantages and also how can we promote it. So without wasting much of our time, sir, talking about greenery, what do you really mean? What is the definition of greenery?
Thank you, please. Once again, you are welcome. When we talk about greenery, we get to understand that we talked about something related to green. Because from the word greenery, you can pick the word green, and that relates to vegetation. So when we are talking about greenery, we are talking about that which relates to green, and the green we are talking of is mostly natural green, because we can have artificial green. Yeah.
Yes.
So talking about greenery, we talked about the aspect that looks green in the urban environment. So now that you are coming with the topic of on greenery today, okay, from my perspective and from my angle and from my aspect of specialization, yes, I want to put it as we are considering urban greenery.
Exactly.
So if we are looking at urban greenery, then it goes beyond vegetation.
Okay.
But vegetation is part of it.
Okay.
Vegetation can exist anywhere. You can have vegetation in different places. It can also be geographically, it can be located or found in places where there have not been any developments.
Oh, yes.
But when you talk about greenery, one in particular urban greenery, then you are talking about development of vegetation within the built environment,
yes,
where you can have human beings to enjoy that greenery.
Exactly.
Not just only on the aspect of plants alone. Okay. There are many other things that we get to enjoy when we talk about greenery. So maybe when we get to considerations of the advantages or the benefits of greenery, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
I want to believe the introduction is okay.
Very, very okay.
Any other question?
Because you have talked about we want to streamline to the built environment.
Good.
Where we live
Good.
and where we survive.
Good.
Because where there is no development at all, maybe I can call that the forest, and then it's also greenery.
It
Am I
could be
right?
forest, it could be grassland.
Exactly.
So in some places where there are no development, we can also have grassland there.
Grassland.
It could even be arid land.
Mhm.
And in the arid land, what you have there will be some shrubs
Okay.
and whatever. But greenery under consideration today, I would suggest we confine it to urban greenery
Exactly.
within the built environment.
Mhm.
So once you say urban greenery, you don't need to add again to it within a built environment, because urban area is principally within the scope of the built environment. So it
Where
becomes
people
tautology.
reside.
Yeah, it becomes tautology when we say we are looking at urban greenery in the built
Green
environment.
Okay.
Oh no, urban greenery in the built
yeah.
environment. It
So
becomes
once-
tautology.
Once we just talk about urban greenery,
You're good. We know that we are talking of
Yeah.
that kind of green development
Okay.
where people live.
okay.
Good.
Oh, thank you very much for the explanation and the definition
Yeah,
about
good.
what we mean by the greenery, especially the one we are talking about today,
Good.
urban greenery.
Good.
Let me begin to emphasize on that,
Nice.
urban greenery.
Good.
That's our viewers. We are talking about urban greenery for this episode for
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Like our professor have told us, greenery is very wide it's a very wide scope, but we are streamlining ourselves to urban greenery
Good.
for today's episode.
Yeah.
So we talking about urban greenery. I want to believe we have so many types.
Of course.
Am I right, sir?
So of course you are right.
Can we quickly discuss types of urban
Yeah,
greenery?
when we talk about urban greenery, we must understand we are talking about vegetation that have been classified under either preservation
Okay.
or conservation. Preservation in that this has been toiled with by human beings in a way that the greenery is kept in a very good state, not under serious and intensive use.
Okay.
But when we talk about conservation, it becomes the kind of greenery within the built environment made available for human use, but not altered from being green to other aspects of land uses. Because we can change the greenery to other aspects of land uses. Once you do that, you alter it. And
Okay.
it's no more going to become soft. So that takes us again to what we call soft landscape.
Okay. Okay.
Soft landscape is still part of greenery.
Okay.
An area can be given to landscaping. That is, you make it and treat it in an aesthetic, well-appealing way.
Okay.
Making an environment, making a scenery, making an outlook to look attractive and to look welcoming and appreciative.
For people that live
Yes, so for people that live around that, or people want to come and visit that place, good,
okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
But then when you retain an area of such kind of place for green purpose, we call it soft landscape. Soft in that you can toil with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose this year to make it full of grass.
Okay.
You can also choose that after grass, you want to plant trees.
Okay.
You have not had any major loss. You want to plant trees, then maybe 5-7 years, you may also want to choose to plant hedges. You can also choose to just mix both grass and hedges and trees and some other things together. You can choose as a time to make sure that all you are going to plant there will be ornamental. At the same time, you may also choose that you want to plant also things that you can eat. So that takes us to again to what we call gardens. See the way I'm building it? Good.
Still part of the types of
We are still talking about
greenery that we are talking
we are
about.
talking
No
about
problem,
it.
sir.
Yes.
I'm getting along.
Good.
And I believe our viewers are also getting along.
Yeah. So
Okay.
in talking about the types, you see the way we'll be building it.
Exactly.
We build it from one to another.
From another.
Now we currently are on the aspect of what?
We are talking about gardening.
Gardens, good.
Yes.
So gardens can also be a type.
Okay.
So we can have gardens.
Okay.
So under the gardens, that is, you choose an area
Okay.
and you demarcate that particular region. The region I'm talking of may be large, it may be minor, it may be major,
Okay.
but let's talk about minor.
It may be within the building too.
If it is within
The
the building,
compound.
that is just minor, that's micro.
Micro. Okay.
So if it's also within a neighborhood, it is still micro.
Micro. Okay.
So you can choose an area within a neighborhood, choose an area within your house, choose an area within an environment, a micro environment, and plant choice plants, choice trees. It may be fruit trees. It may also be the kind of trees that will produce scents, that when you walk around, it will be as if perfume has been released. And some also may even be, some may even be bringing some other interesting things. That could be gardens.
Okay.
Now, from that garden, we build to horticulture.
Okay.
Now, when you're talking about horticulture, either you're talking about soft landscape, you talked about gardens, you talked about whatever, they all can be packaged under horticultural activity or practice.
Okay.
So horticulture is a kind of greenery being practiced principally in an urban environment.
Okay.
And dealing with organization, provision, and also sustainability of green plants. I think it's good we stop there so that we don't bring much complexity. Am I talking right?
Because I'm almost getting lost too. but I love the way you have put it. In short, from one to another.
Yes.
At least you started with what we mean by greenery, and we are able to talk about soft greenery. We are able to talk about gardening, and you talk about the horticulture.
We started from conservation,
preservation, exactly.
Then we moved to gardens, down to horticulture. Even in the horticulture, after horticulture, we can again still look at certain type. If you look at greenery within urban area, it could be organized. It could not be organized. When it is not organized, it becomes incidental. That is existing without guidance. It's just like roaming dogs in the streets, having no owners. So we also have, permit me to use the word, we have also roaming trees. We also have roaming plants
in our environment.
They will just be existing. Somebody has a plot of land, he has traveled out of the country, he's not developing it, he just left it fallow and rain falling on it. So we are going to have grain there. But that kind of grain is not cultured. It's not trained.
So what do we
call it? It's not treated. It's incidental. We call it or classify it as incidental. It can be brought again under open space. So we have organized open space, we have unorganized open space. So when we have an open space, when you hear the word open space, mostly it's going to be greenery. But kind of open space that is not treated without special human attention, cultivated, regularized human attention. I'm not talking of just going there to cut the weeds. If you go there to cut the weeds, it can still be classified as incidental. Okay. But when you give it a special treatment, let us retain this plant, let us allow this other plant to be of this height. Okay, let's lower the growth of this other one. Let's introduce this. That's conscious effort. So with that conscious effort, we call it not organizing, not disorganized again, but now organized. Not incidental now, but intentional. So we can classify incidental and organized. So we can have organized greenery. We can have disorganized or unorganized greenery. That's where I'm going.
Okay,
good.
I want to believe we still have so many other types. But because of our time, maybe we should just leave it to us. And there is a question that is coming to my mind, but I think with this, my next question, I should be able to also chip in that we have talked about the types of greenery now.
Okay.
Can we just move to advantages of greenery?
Yeah.
Because I think that is very important to our viewers. They are talking about greenery.
Yeah.
What did they really want to bring out? And I'm just talking the mind of our viewers.
Okay.
They are talking about greenery. Professor is talking about, he's giving us some things we need to know about greenery. What did you really want to bring out? I think at this junction we should be able to let them know there are so many advantages when it comes to greenery. There are
a good number of advantages. As I'm going to talk about the advantages of greenery, I will talk as a professor of urban and regional planning.
Good. I love that.
And good, nice. But then I will spread tentacle a little beyond my profession. Okay. I'm not a geographer, but I climb up to this level on the cadre and platform of understanding and learning geography.
Exactly.
Now, if you're talking about greenery, you place yours as greenery.
Yes.
But I came on the aspect of urban greenery. But your question had been that what are the advantages of greenery, not urban greenery. So I will answer your question.
Okay.
Let's look at it in this way. Consider the total earth surface as 100%.
Yes.
Are you listening?
I'm listening, sir.
Good. Out of that 100% as total earth surface, the water body covers tangible aspects of it, more than half
Of the whole earth.
of the whole earth surface.
Okay.
You know, we have many oceans:
Exactly.
Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, many. But then, the water body, we also have lakes, we have rivers, Niles, and the rest. All these bodies of water, they cover more than half of the whole entire earth surface. Take note, where we have those body of water, we cannot possibly have trees and plants all on them. So that means that on the whole entire earth surface, more than half have been taken over by water. Whereas we need these green plants. Now, from what is left, we also have the mountainous regions where plants cannot be able to grow. Himalayas, Everest, and the rest, and some other areas, plateaus, areas taken over by rocky environment. We also have the arid land, pure desert land. There are some desert places that rain will not fall for over 7 years. I think there's a particular desert. No, I'm sorry, I'm going beyond the let's come back again to where we are. Now we have the desert region, we have the arid region, places where we cannot find significant plants. Are you listening?
Yes.
Now, in the whole entire earth surface, where we can have plants, everything is just 18% of the whole entire world earth surface. 1/8. Can you imagine 18 over 100? And that's what that is competing for this construction, competing for industrial development, competing for housing, competing for land, all other land uses. Are you getting it?
I'm with you, sir.
Also competing for agricultural development.
That's the 18%.
Just the 18%. Now, this 18%, if you look at it, what is left for what we are considering as greenery today seems not to be up to or more than 5%. It's a serious case.
Because we have 18% left for land.
For the whole entire land area,
and a lot of activities are there talking about buildings,
many land uses,
land uses.
Competing for such.
So we just have 5% for greenery.
Just about, let me be possibly like. Now, when you now have those 5%, the 5% seems so. I'm saying less than 5%. It's also facing serious threats. Urban expansion, the population growth at astronomical rate, and everybody want to build a house. Where development seems to be expanding, road must also pass through to get there. Where houses are existing, then you cannot build your buildings on plants, on trees. Then you scrape the floor. Then you do your necessary. You are an engineer, so you do your necessary work. When you do that, you have completely obliterated what we call greenery in the area and the spot where you are developing. Good. We also have the mining regions. Indiscriminate mining, absolute mining, uncoordinated mining. Now, when you look at all this, you now discover that the area left for greenery, which is supposed to sustain humanity. Agriculture, without greenery, we cannot eat. Without greenery, we cannot breathe. Plants produce oxygen that we breathe in. Look at the population. No, sorry, look at the percentage. We started from 100%. We drop it below
to 18%.
We now drop it to 18%.
Less than 5%.
18% is now dropping to less than 5%. Even the less than 5%, he said, is under threatening. That's where the problem of climate change now is now becoming seriously pronounced.
That we are having presently.
So now this calls for the necessity of advocating for urban greenery. So this kind of topic you are considering and treating is a kind of topic that's supposed to bring it to a global consideration. It's the kind of topic that's supposed to call for professional heralding. It's the kind of topic that we're supposed to proclaim. In short, without this, we will create much problems in the world. Because
for the entire human race. Let's just say living living things generally.
Oh, you got it. Because we also have the parkland, we have the wildlife,
Exactly.
and all these are all depending on the greenery that is highly under serious threat. Now, when we now have the urban area, if there are no some areas specially earmarked for greenery, we are going into self-extinct. When we kill plants, we're indirectly killing ourselves.
And that's what is most happening now,
That's what
especially in the urban city, like you have rightly said.
Now,
in the
come
cities.
to building plan and approval. The urban planners or the law of planning says when you have a plot of land, even for residential use, you are not permitted to develop more than 60% of that plot of land.
The whole plot of land.
Of the whole plot of land. The rest of the 40% should be left undeveloped. You use that as setbacks and some other area.
Exactly.
The intention of those people who formed the law then, who established the regulation, was that the 40% will be left for greenery. That was the original intention. But there have been mutilation of that intention. People are now interpreting that if you leave it open, you can concrete the floors. So if I enter into your compound now, I have places where we have concrete floors here and there. And the town planners cannot arrest you. Why the town planners may not be able to arrest you? And they cannot arrest me, they cannot arrest others, but the law of nature will definitely arrest. That's part of the problem that is happening now.
And that is the utmost.
So the greenery that you are treating and considering today is not a topic that we can conclude today. It's a topic that the medical doctor is supposed to support. If they don't support it, they will be treating many problems, many diseases that are relating to challenges arising from problem of lack of greenery in urban environment. This same problem, the technology we face it, technology is really trying. But then, while technology is trying, we still need places and areas of land to sustain what they are trying to bring out. The hybrids and the rest must still exist.
Since you are going to this, maybe I should just chip in the next question. I think you are already that how can we promote it?
Oh, good. There are many ways we can promote it. Part of promotion is what you are doing now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is part of what you are doing.
Okay.
But of more importance is the necessity of governance. If the governance doesn't open eyes to that, there will not be any legislation. If there's no legislation, there's not going to be anything to be enforced. Where there is legislation that is very specific. So take for instance this aspect of leaving certain areas of plot of land not developed. If you have a plot of land, 60% develop, 40% don't develop. If it's for industrial use, you can't develop beyond 40%. Or even maybe beyond 30% if it's for industrial. If it is commercial, they don't allow you to develop more than 30 to 40%.
Okay.
The rest
other
of
one is the residential.
The residential has a higher opportunity.
That's 60%.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the other ones, if you now live for public, for churches, for mosques, for whatever, if you leave the rest for schools, if you leave the rest 60% undeveloped, and you develop about a maximum of 39, you have about 61, there must be enforcement that 61% should not be covered with concrete.
We should avoid hard landscaping as much as possible.
Yes, you should avoid hard landscaping
as much as possible.
You
are
make
talking
everything
about our government.
Good, yes.
Okay.
There must be strong enforcement.
The government
The government should be able to specifically spell it in a clearer term that the area left undeveloped should be covered with green.
I think our government are also listening to us.
And the grain we are talking of, I'm not talking of synthetic grain. So in modern times now, if you go into some places, enter into some compound, what you find is synthetic grain. That cannot be substituted.
It's not effective.
Yeah,
like
so synthetic grain is not part of greenery. Do you got it? Good.
Right.
So these are issues. We talked about the aspect of governance, and that is very cardinal, very, very important. Apart from the aspect of governance, also linking to the governance is the role of individuals, the grassroots. We talked about.
One of us.
Yeah. So we talked about the governance. We talked about now another G. That's the grassroots. So the grassroots should be able to go into aspect of education. not only those that are into environmental sciences should be well educated about the relevance of greenery. See the way I give the analysis to you. I know if you live here now, you are going to be very concerned about greenery. In short, if you see a plant now, you will think twice before you remove it.
Yes.
Because
like
from 100% to 80%, 80% to 5%.
It's like you are washing my mind.
Good. So if you are dealing with it in that way, and every mind is highly synthesized
about this.
And we take plants as enemies objects. And we treat plants as essential beings, but more essential to the existence of we human beings. We will have good consideration. In short, that can make us to go to another aspect. If we give a good aspect to greenery, I've talked about grassroots. So at grassroots level, people should be able to at least give consideration, attention, and concern. At every level, primary school, there should be teachings on that. There should be songs raised to be put in children's mind that plants are living things to be considered necessary for our living. At nursery levels, children should be able to have knowledge about that. So if anybody is dealing with plants anyhow, a little child can call that person to order.
We can start educating them from early stage.
That is it. So crossing line, they will be able to avoid that because they will not want to tamper with even grass. So when they grow up, we start from grassroots. When they now grow up, they will have concern. There is going to be passion. So vehicles that are moving on the road will not find it easy to just park anyhow, to trample on plants and destroy landscapes. Now, we talked about governance, we talked about the grassroots, but beyond that is the aspect of consumption. We can give attention to sustainability of this and promote this when we even think about what we are to eat. I can't tell you lying. We can raise some plants even where we are living. If you are even a tenant, you can have potted plants. If you're a tenant and you meet that the landlord has built has constructed everywhere, cover every other area with concrete, you can buy some pots, fill them with sand.
So there is no excuse.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse. You can decorate your windows. You can decorate your windows with such kind of.
And it goes beyond decoration.
Oh, of course, it goes beyond decoration.
Like you have already said before.
So you have plants.
Having plants around us.
Around you is an advantage for us. So when you are sleeping, you'll be enjoying oxygen, the oxygen being released out by what you have planted, even just around you. In short, you can from there now graduate to planting edible things. Now I've read about people going to planting some things inside bags, rice, yams inside bags at the back of their houses, and they are harvesting them, they are enjoying them. If you are to enter into a compound, you can choose to use pawpaw. So I'm trying to work on that now. If you check my house where I live now, in the next 1.5 years, it's going to amaze you. I'm trying to think of, I'm looking for brand and special species of pawpaw. And I'm trying to now introduce landscaping by fruit trees. That is, when you enter into a compound, to the left, you will find maybe pawpaw growing up. Then at the base, you see pineapples. Then in between 2-3 pineapples, you will see cocoyam being sandwiched. Then along the line, if it is possible, you can have okra growing up.
If I can say this, that means you are talking about the edible aspect of it.
The edible aspect of it.
It's not compulsory that you plant something that is not edible.
It's not compulsory.
Even the ones that are edible, you can still plant it. And you'll be eating from it. It helps in confronting food insecurity. So that's the advantage. So the advantage becomes food security. So when you have them as landscape objects, you can have some ornamental purpose. Some purpose when they are trying to bring out fruit, the fruit will look yellow. But you can block the yellow fruits when it's mature and you eat. It brings landscape, it brings aesthetics, but it also brings stomach infrastructure. Right? So interesting. Now, you again at the base of the purpose, you can have some plants, like just as I've said, you can have pineapples. When pineapple mature, you harvest.
You enjoy it. In the front of the house, you can also plant some things over there. And it's going to be very interesting. I move around in the city where I exist, where I live. I have discovered that some individuals are even planting perennial plants. I know a particular man, not very far from this environment, in his own compound. He has cocoa trees. And there was a time I was discussing with him. He has used cocoa trees to landscape his environment, his own compound, and he's harvested them on yearly basis. Then he also plant cassava. If you can plant cassava in a well-organized order, you will be harvesting the cassava, and it's also going to bring greenery.
That's cassava.
And yes, the same cassava, and it's going to landscape the environment. Wow. You know what's happening? When the work problem has not got to the acute level. When challenges get to acute level, we will be forced to reason. But then before we are forced to reason, there would have been many casualties.
And that's the bad aspect.
And it's already happening.
And that's one of
So
the
the
reasons
best
why we
now
are
is for us to wake up.
bringing this to the notice of our people. A kind of creating awareness, educating
which is
ourselves.
Very, very important.
Sincerely, sir. Educating ourselves on these things. Sir, you have really opened our eyes to so many things. I want to believe our viewers speaking their mind too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's good.
You will still give us your little comment before we sign off on the episode.
Okay.
But let's just quickly go on a very short break.
Okay.
When you come back, we'll just take your final comments and we'll call it a day.
Extra Miles Home and Properties bring to your doorstep real estate with ease. We help you build your dream homes in a comfortable and secured environment, thereby getting your future assured in the world of real estate. One out of our numerous estates available for sale now is Green Orange Estate, located at Alaro City. Alaro City is a new city currently being constructed in the Lekki Epeazis of Lagos State in Nigeria. There is a promo going on with a special offer where you buy 6 plots and get 1 plot free. Following are the estate amenities to be provided, which include perimeter fence, gate house, 247 security system, good road network, ample parking space, top-notch green area, and so on and so forth. Limited slots are available for this promo. Call 080-3602-8454 for more enquiry. Have a rethink now. Trade real estate and secure your tomorrow. It is powered by Extra Mile Africa. You are looking for a building company to make that your dream home become a reality. Don't look elsewhere anymore. Engiva Construct is here for you. Our services include the following: building construction, civil works, engineering consultancy, engineering services, project management, and we are also into real estate. In our company, we run with a vision of becoming essential to our clients by providing highest level of quality engineering consultancy, construction, and services at reasonable and market competitive cost. We operate in a wide range of business areas ranging from design to costing to development and delivery of homes and public infrastructures. And we have been able to achieve that over the years through our highly experienced crop of skilled personnel, transforming client dreams into reality, and offer deep professional advices in arriving at the best possible result. And we are still building on it to achieve more. We work in every state throughout the nation. Our head office is located at 30 Olufemi Ajayi Street, Ifakoijayi, Lagos State. Telephone 070-3137-3769. 070-3137-3769. To us, client satisfaction is our ultimate goal, and we do that with integrity and focus. Engiva Construct, we are here for you.
Yes, we are about rounding off. Greenery takes us to Urban Greenery, and for some minutes now I'll be talking with Professor A. Abegunde. On a final note to our people, we have been able to educate them, talk about the definition, the types of greenery, advantages, and how we can promote it. And I believe our people have been able to get educated from what you have been able to give us on this episode today. On a final note to our people from yourself.
Yeah, thank you. On a final note, the greenery is incontestable. It's not a thing we can rubbish, we cannot put it aside. We must see it as a compulsion. You know, we have its necessity. We also have a compulsion. Compulsion is more strong than of necessity. Something may be necessary, but if I don't do it, I may not be arrested. When something is under compulsion, then there must be a penalty. There's a necessity. and there's also a compulsion for every individual to play significant role in making sure that urban greenery is a sustainability. Because without it, even the land itself cannot be revitalized.
Yeah.
If you look at places where we have the greenery, that's why forest land seems to be more fertile than other open area.
Yeah.
So if you want to protect the present generation and also make the next generation to be sustainable, greenery is one of the first things that must be done. And we must also see it as a role. We must do a job. It's a job. It calls for a conscious effort. Not only conscious effort, some people may seem not to really like seeing trees, looking at green environment where they are. They need them to be well educated. Some people will claim that, mosquitoes are there. Okay, some trees can some area that look greenery may attract snakes, some other things. We must understand the perspectives of people. They take each of the negative perspective and look at how you can trash that, amplify the advantages, and from that, let everybody team together to make sure that urban greenery is a compulsion. I think that is the right word, which we must not forget. Let me end the note there.
We should team together. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. Our viewers at home, I believe we have been so much educated with what Professor have been able to dish out to us. And don't forget that final note. We should team together. Let us team together and do this work together. It's for your own good, it's for my own good, it's for the good of every one of us. Greenery is very important. We all see what is happening to the world presently. It's because of our activities. If you are able to improve on that, like Professor have rightly said, it will be a good environment for us to live in. So it's not in the hand of you, it's in the hand of me, it's in the hand of every one of us. I want to really appreciate your featuring on this episode, sir. The professor have been discussing with on greenery, urban greenery, for the past few minutes. He's a professor of urban and regional planning at University in Ile-Ife. Now the person of Professor A.A.
Yeah, Ile-Ife, Nigeria.
Ile-Ife, Nigeria. Thank you for that, sir. Ile-Ife, Nigeria. That's Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria.
Yes.
Professor A.A. Abegunde of the Urban and Regional Planning Department.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time that you gave us today to be able to have from your knowledge, because this is something research has gone from your side to be able to at least get all this knowledge.
Of course.
I know it's years of researches
of course.
It's a privilege having you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I really appreciate you.
Our viewers at home, I want to believe you have gained much from what we have been able to bring to you on this very episode. Till we come your way again on another episode of The Bedrock with Mike Faniloye. I remain my humble self, Mike Faniloye, also known as your engineer online, your engineer on radio. Remain blessed before we come your way again. Bye for now.